Most people think push-ups and pull-ups are just basic exercises, and they'll tell you that you cannot build a real physique with them, but that's just not true. I built my entire physique foundation with just these two exercises. No weights, no fancy movements. My foundation is built with these two exercises alone. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how to use push-ups and pull-ups correctly so that you can build muscle the fastest way possible. Now listen, the truth about the push-up and pull-up is something that people always like to avoid. People automatically think that when they look at the push-up and the pull-up, for example, they think, you know what? These two exercises are low-key kind of too easy. But here's the deal. If you know how to do them correctly, then automatically these two exercises become one of the most difficult exercises that you've ever done in your life. Have you ever seen a guy in the gym saying push-ups are easy and then he shows you that he does 2 sets of 15 at the end of his workout? I understand why you think that push-ups and pull-ups are easy. If you use them as little finisher movements just to burn out your back or your chest a little bit without actually putting real progressive overload on it so that you can build your entire physique with them, I understand why you think that push-up and pull-up is not something worthy of doing and does not work for you. But I'm gonna tell you right here, and I'm here to tell you that push-ups and pull-ups and prioritizing these two exercises and using progressive overload on it, and by actually taking it serious as possible, so as serious as all of your exercises that you're doing right now, or as serious as whatever you like to do the most, you're going to see progress insanely fast, something that you are not used to. So if you have been thinking that you need a gym to build muscle, you absolutely don't. Push-ups and pull-ups alone can already transform your entire physique if you do it the right way. So if you want the full laid out process so that you can actually go from skinny to jacked, check the top link in the description, Jacked by Calisthenics. In Jacked by Calisthenics, there are 30 plus modules plus way more so that you can go from skinny to jacked using nothing but calisthenics. So the link is right there. Start today and I'll see you inside. Now, why are these two exercises so damn effective and why do I heavily believe in them too? Now, in my opinion, it's because of 3 main reasons and I'm gonna go over them right now. Number 1, it's the reliability aspect. Push-ups and pull-ups are so reliable that you almost cannot go wrong with them unless you don't prioritize it. So yes, you cannot just use a push-up and pull-up as like a little finisher exercise and expect all the muscles that you want to see or expect all the strength that you want to see. Obviously not, right? Even though the push-up and pull-up are so damn effective and you can build muscle with it like any other exercise or even more, that does not mean though that if you treat it like a little playful exercise at the end of your session or at the beginning for a warm-up and you're not really treating it like you're supposed to treat it, then yes, you're still not going to build muscle. I always say the guy who has a shitty routine, shitty exercise selection, but he stays consistent and he puts all his effort into that is still going to make more progress than the guy who has the perfect routine, perfect exercise selection, does everything correct, but is not consistent and doesn't treat it seriously and doesn't put effort in. So yes, I do agree. Push-up and pull-ups can be trash if you treat it like trash. But if you treat it like 2 diamonds in the dirt, you're going to experience real results from it. So that's number 1, reliability. But number 2 is the variation aspect of it. The variation aspect of it is so broad that there's literally no limit to what you can do with these 2 exercises. To be real with you, bro, you don't even need anything else if you properly know how to progress with it. If you, for example, take the push-up and you want to train every single push muscle in your upper body, such as your chest, shoulders, triceps, whatever, maybe even your traps, you can do that with push-ups by just changing up variation, leverages, tempos, so that you can that way target different muscles and increase the growth. That is the same thing with pull-ups. Now listen, when it comes to pull-ups, you can make all types of changes to target different types of muscles. And listen, you don't even have to be able to do a pull-up to be still experiencing the same type of benefits. If you're not able to do a pull-up yet, or you're not able to do a proper amount of pull-ups yet, and you're still in that beginner era to where you can only do a couple of pull-ups but not even properly like that, then the first step should always be making it a little bit easier for yourself so that you can challenge yourself. You might think, what the f did you just say? Making it easier for yourself to challenge yourself. Yeah, because a lot of beginners cannot do a lot of pull-ups yet, which means that you cannot really train hard with the pull-up. You cannot really put real effort on the pull-up because you can't do a lot. But if you make the variation easier, such as an Australian pull-up or resistance bands pull-ups or being able to do some chin-up rows, with that, which are truly pull-up variations, you can now train harder, which is going to increase the difficulty, which is going to end up in you being able to do more pull-ups. So you can change the variation in such a way where there's literally no limit to how much muscle you can build, strength, control, and how much calisthenics progress you can actually make in the long run. And then the third reason is You don't need a lot of equipment, which kind of ties back to the reliability aspect, right? You don't need a lot of equipment to be able to train push-ups and pull-ups properly so that you can actually build muscle. If you check out the second link in the description, which is where all my equipment is from, if you get rings, a pull-up bar, a dip bar, you're already good. You can train every single thing that you want on those piece of equipment. So if you go to the second link in the description and use code BARS10, you'll get 10% off of whatever you order so that you can actually build your little home gym and calisthenics playground so that you can actually build muscle with it reliably without going to the gym. Now let's get into chapter number 2, push-ups for chest, shoulder, and tricep growth. Now listen, there are a couple of variations of push-ups that you need to stay consistent on if you want to build muscle. Every single guy inside of my program is doing it. I'm doing it. My one-on-one clients that I coach personally do it. Every single guy who I've ever met who does these exercises and push-up variations for their chest, shoulders, and triceps will grow insane chest, shoulders, and triceps. Only thing you have to do, and this is something that you have to promise to yourself, you have to stick to it, is that you have to stay consistent and make it more difficult over time. So you have to progressively overload. Now let's get into what these exercises actually are, right? The first push-up variation that I want you to stick on is the deficit push-ups. The deficit push-up is an exercise that prioritizes the stretch aspect of the chest. When you do push-ups with an extra range of motion, basically double the range of motion than what we usually do, you can expect more muscle growth, obviously, right? The only thing is you have to be kind of careful in the first stage of doing this because your body is not really used to going that deep. But the moment you're able to do that, your muscles are going to explode in size. It's going to go really fast when it comes to how fast you're actually growing. And the reason why that is because when you look at a normal push-up from normal lockout to chest to floor, a lot of the times that's actually seen as a half push-up. And you know why? Because there is so much more that we could actually spend in that stretch position. Because listen, when you're doing a push-up with your chest to the floor, there's still a lot more below that you could go if you just didn't do push-ups on the floor, but you do them on a deficit, such as on a box or on rings or on parallettes, whatever. As you can see, I got a couple of variations here. These push-ups, I can literally go as deep as I want to go so that I can get the deepest stretch on my chest possible, which is gonna respond in a very, very, very hypertrophic way. And that way I can progressively overload with how properly I'm doing it. So I don't even want you to first focus on how much weight you're using or how much reps you're doing. I don't even want you to focus on that. What I want you to focus on is first being able to do it properly so that you can actually get a very, very good set in. That's the first thing. Then the second thing is doing that consistently for the longest. The third thing is now being able to add load upon your body. Now that could be adding weights to it. It could be a deeper range of motion than what you're already used to. It could be adding a different variation. So adding an elevated surface to your feet. It could be whatever you want. You just have to progressively overload. Then the second variation is pike push-ups. Pike push-ups is the upside down military press of calisthenics. It's basically the bodyweight military press of calisthenics. You need to have an upside down, aka overhead press in there so that you can actually build your shoulders. What I see in the calisthenics community a lot, people who do heavy dips or heavy push-ups or a lot of reps or whatever, always have lagging shoulders, and that is because they don't prioritize upside down work. You have to at least have 2 days in a week where you're going to be doing this for a couple of sets and progressively overloading with it over time. The beautiful thing about this exercise is that it takes out the chest completely if you do it correctly, and it purely focuses and mimics a shoulder press, but it's literally just the bodyweight version of it. So prioritize it to the maximum potential, and then that way you're going to see your shoulders grow instead of lagging behind if you skip it. Now then the third exercise is going to be tricep push-ups. Now the tricep push-up is simply just a push-up variation, and it looks like a normal push-up, but our elbows go fully back so that we can stretch our triceps, and we extend instead of push. We extend all the way back up so that we can squeeze the tricep, and that way we can target it. Listen, if you want to target a certain muscle, you're going to have to focus on it, right? So that does not mean that, oh, I could just do regular push-ups and because it already hits the shoulders and triceps and chest, everything will just automatically grow. If you have average genetics or a little bit underneath or a little bit above, you're probably not going to be seeing that results like you expected to see. So you have to separate the muscles that you're working. Yes, you can focus mainly on weighted dips and get great results in every single area of your body. But if you really want to bring an area up, such as your triceps, stop doing what took you to intermediate and and start doing something different that's going to take you to advanced. Because the work that got you to intermediate, it's not the work that is going to get you to advanced. So if you want to get your triceps up, focus on a push-up variation that actually focuses on the triceps, such as the tricep push-up. Now let's go into the next chapter, and that is going to be pull-ups for back and bicep growth. Pull-ups, in my opinion, are the best exercise, pulling exercise, that you can do in all of exercises that exist. Every single exercise that exists that is out there for your back, the pull-up is, in my opinion, king. Every single member inside of my program, people that I coach, people that are just inside working by themselves, whatever they're doing, I have them doing pull-ups consistently as fuck. And the reason why that is because you can't beat it. It's that simple. So if you want to grow your back and biceps to the maximum potential with pull-ups, then you're going to have to focus on just 2 variations of a pull-up in order to gain muscle with it. So people might comment on this video and think, you know what he's about to say right now, I don't like that. But listen, rows is a pull-up variation. In calisthenics, that's a pull-up variation. The reason why is because we're doing a pull-up, but we're quite literally just changing the leverage. We're quite literally just changing the position of our body. So we have ring rows and we have ring pull-ups. Now listen, you can do normal pull-ups, but if you have rings, I'd highly recommend you using them because you can have a lot of variety in rings, which is going to even further build muscle. When it comes to the ring pull-up, the thing that I want you to focus on the most is just getting stronger in it. Because a lot of times what I see with most athletes and members inside of my program is that even if their pull-up form is not that perfect, they can still build a lot of muscle with it. And that's the beautiful thing about this exercise, is because the variation doesn't really matter. If you pull up from start to finish, dead hang to chin over the bar or head to bar, whatever it may be, and you stretch your back and you squeeze your back, it's going to get you gains. And even if you don't really feel it yet and you were kind of trying to find the perfect variation for you, you're still going to build muscle through it. That's how reliable this exercise is. So listen, I've seen a lot of people online doing pull-ups with terrible form, very speedy, and that's the only thing they do. And listen, I do that from time to time because I mix high reps with low reps. So yes, I have days where I do very, very high rep, as you can see right here, and they don't look as good as these reps, as you can see. But both of these variations build mass. They both build you back gains. Now, for a guy who just gets into pull-ups, I do not want you to do the fast-paced variation yet, unless that's your goal. If you want to just learn how to rep out, then that's your goal. Okay, fine. But if you want to build muscle, then the best option is always going to be doing it controlled, slow, and focusing on the tempo as much as you can and getting stronger throughout every single one of those aspects that I just told you. By adding weights, doing it slower, increasing the range of motion, adding more reps, whatever you want to do to increase the load of it, to basically get stronger in it, that's what you also need to do. And then we have the ring rows, because the ring rows is something that a lot of people neglect. The ring row is something that people need to do ASAP because their back could be that much bigger of a size and look that much better if you add in a horizontal row. So for you right now, if you want to build your back to the maximum potential, pull-ups, yes, they're going to work every time. They're always going to build you muscle reliably. But if we want to even push it to the next level, then rows is always going to be your best friend. If you prioritize rows and pull-ups, that's all you truly need for your back. Just do these 2 pull-up variations and trust me, your back will explode. You will look like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. No cap. So if you want the exact same roadmap and blueprint that I used, not just push-ups and pull-ups, but a full 30 module system to go from skinny to jacked within 6 months time, if you truly focus on it and put your effort in, it's all inside of my program, Jacked by Calisthenics. It's my personal community and program where you can literally get the results that you've been waiting on. And this is for the serious individuals only. So go to the top link in the description. I'll see you inside, see what it's about, join, and I'll see you. So let's go into the next chapter. And we kind of already briefly touched on this within each and every single chapter, but now I want to just spend the full time talking about it, and it's the progressive overload aspect of these 2 exercises. What are the most important ones, right? What should we first focus on when it comes to progressive overload? Because yes, we could go to the weighted calisthenics route, we can go to the more reps route, we could go to the slower reps route, we could do all types of things to be able to make an exercise more difficult. But in my opinion, the ultimate roadmap will always be the 3 pillars and then plus a bonus pillar, so that you can actually build crazy mass. Number one is always going to be changing up your tempo. So if you're doing pull-ups with crazy speed, slow it down. That will already progressively overload your back, chest, whatever muscle you're training to the next level to build more muscle. Then the second pillar is going to be variations. You need to rotate in variations from time to time. Not all the time, but you need to have a couple of variations in your routine that is actually going to reliably build you mass. So that when you plateau on one thing, you can move on to another thing and actually continue building muscle with that. And then the third pillar is going to be leverages. Now, leverages is basically you just changing up the position of a certain exercise so that you can build more muscle and make it more difficult for yourself. Now, listen, after we have mastered those three pillars, which is very important, the first step should always be just slowing it down, but then the second step should be rotating in variations, and then we should actually change those variations with more difficult leverages. But after that, of course, we could continue to more difficult variations and crazier leverages, way slower tempo, but after a little while, it kind of stagnates. So what is the next step? What is the fourth pillar? It's weighted calisthenics. And listen, not everybody wants to go to that. So if you don't want to do that, then you don't need to. But if you actually want to gain muscle to the maximum potential, then weighted calisthenics is always going to be your best friend. After you have done those three pillars and you have added that to your bodyweight exercises, it's now time to add a little bit of weight upon yourself to be able to gain muscle even more. And once you have done that, you're now going to be just progressing in every single one of these, and mainly the weights, while keeping the same core three pillars the same. Bro, if you do this consistently over and over again, I am scared for the type of gains that you'll be making, bro. Listen, bro, this was me when I first started calisthenics, and this is me now. The reason why I've been able to grow so much is because I literally just used to do what I'm telling you right here. First, I used to just focus on doing a lot of reps. I built muscle with the foundational exercises, push-ups and pull-ups. That was it. And I started to add more dips in that journey, right? After a little while, started changing up the variations. So close grip, wide grip, neutral grip, doing diamond push-ups, diamond decline push-ups. Then after a little while, I started getting into weighted calisthenics. Then I started to do the weighted basics over and over again to get stronger in the weighted basics. And after a little while, before you know it, my chest and back blew the fuck up. And now I'm isolating my arms with rings on the side so that I can build the full physique that I need to build. Do you now understand why calisthenics is so damn effective? And you're never gonna get stuck if you do it properly. Take a look at this student right here inside of my program. He started with the program, and ever since he started, he is still progressing every single workout. He is able to add more reps to his sessions. He's able to add more weight. He's now just rolling into weighted calisthenics, and he's actually doing it properly over and over again. And that's how you build muscle. It's really not that difficult if you think about it. Now I just want to quickly give you a simple routine that you can stick to in order to gain muscle. Now listen, when we have the push-up and pull-ups, let's say we have three variations for each and every single exercise, right? The push-up variations would be deficit push-ups, ring push-ups, and decline diamond push-ups. When you have those three exercises, the only thing you need to do is do about 2 to 3 sets per exercise and focus on training hard per set. So focus on really prioritizing that failure aspect to it, training hard, really getting outside of your comfort zone with each and every single set that you're doing. And then when it comes to the pull-ups, you have your ring pull-ups, you have your close grip ring pull-ups, and you have your rows. 2 to 3 sets each and every single exercise. Focus on that intensity aspect of it, the failure, the beyond failures, the going crazy per set, whatever, and just do that for about 2 times a week. This is already a very basic routine that I can give you right here that already builds you muscle. So focus on that, and trust me, you will grow just from push-ups and pull-ups. So if you don't want to actually piece shit together from my videos and whatnot, go to the top link in the description. Everything is laid out in there. It's the full blueprint that took me from skinny to jacked, and it will do the same for you. I'll show you exactly how to build every single muscle the way that I do it with the 30 modules inside of the program, and that way you're going to build muscle. Every single thing that you need to know about the program is in the top link in the description, and I'll see you in the next video. And as always, watch this one, because in this video I'm going to be showing you the best chest and back workout with push-ups, pull-ups, and additional dips added into it so that you can actually build muscle how I do it.